Hi guys, Bob for Bob's movie review here, and today I'd like to review for you a movie I just recently watched called Hacksaw Ridge, the story of when a conscientious objector became a war hero. If you guys enjoy the video, please leave it a like rating. So it's kind of funny to say that, although that is what this movie is about. So this guy, Desmond Doss, played by Andrew Garfield, they kind of go back a little bit in the story, and they talk about his childhood a little bit, although everything leading up to him joining the army is not a super long time in the movie. Kind of go through his childhood. His dad, he was like an alcoholic and abusive, and then he's kind of grown up, and they really don't say how old he is. I assume he's around 18 or so, and he's met a girl, and everything's kind of coming together for him, and everybody is joining the army to fight in World War II. So he decides to join, and I guess under the stipulation that he would not be required to carry a weapon, because he, for religious reasons, believed that killing was wrong. And so then he goes to basic training, and they're kind of against him, obviously, and they try to kick him out and try to get him to quit, because obviously a guy who isn't going to carry a weapon, if they're not going to be able to protect you, so nobody wants him to go with them to fight, which is completely understandable. And they try to court-martial him, and he ends up getting through it all and getting being sent to fight at Hacksaw Ridge, the name of the movie, Hacksaw Ridge. They're trying to take over this, I don't know what you'd call it. It's kind of like the cliff, straight up cliff, I guess. And on the top of it, it had to be thousands of Japanese in bunkers and tunnels out in the open. And these guys are supposed to climb this rope and take the cliff, I guess. And he goes up there with no weapon. And I was kind of confused, because they were like, well, you haven't passed basic training because you haven't passed your rifle training. And I didn't understand necessarily why he wouldn't just do the rifle training and not use a weapon, because that would solve everything. But they go into it later, why he wouldn't carry a rifle. And I don't know. It's hard to say if he's right or wrong for sure. But to him, it was right not, to take the chances and stand up for what he believed in, which I guess is pretty admirable. But so obviously things don't particularly go well on the ridge, and they have to retreat. And he's obviously, I'm trying not to give anything away, but they give away a lot of this in the trailer. So he ends up just saving a lot of people, by dragging them out and performing, some first aid type things on them until they can get to the whatever you call it, the hospital tent thing. And so it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I think this movie had a little bit of everything. It had drama, it had romance, the little love story it had going on. It had action. As a warning, it does have some graphic gore, but it's not really a focal point, but it could be upsetting to some, I guess. I think my only real complaint I had about this movie was Vince Vaughn's character, because the guy, I don't remember what his name was, either he was like Vince Vaughn in a previous life, just a total douchebag, or he was just Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn. And if it was just Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn, then I feel like it takes away from the movie. If that's how the guy really was, then spot on. Spot on. Vince Vaughn's a douchebag, so he fits. I'm not trying to say I don't like Vince Vaughn, because I do really like some of his movies, but in every movie he becomes the same annoying douchebag, and so it really makes me question the character in this movie. Although I do believe it is one of Vince Vaughn's best performances. He was great. He added some comedy elements, although there were other comedy elements. He was the main comic relief, and in a good way, in the right way. It didn't come off bad. It came off as funny. There was actually real funny parts. I forgot to mention this movie was also had some comedy in there, and I feel like a lot of movies now, they try to add a little comedy, and I think it works. Obviously they add it at the right moments and it works. So for this movie, dare I give it a perfect 10 out of 10. I have never rated a movie that high, but I think this one deserves it. It's a great movie, really enjoyable to watch, a great story, based on real people, based on a true story. At the end, I believe before the credits, they do have some of the real people who the characters are based on talking about what happened, and it's just a real enjoyable movie. Seeing a movie like this in 2017, it really makes me wonder, this is over 50 years later, how many more stories are there like this that we don't know, that Hollywood's never told, that people don't know? It's hard to imagine that something like this could happen and just people don't even know. Their stories aren't told. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I always appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton, helps the video get seen by more people. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. I know a lot of you guys already told me you guys really enjoyed this one. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos, check out the suggested videos, and I'll see you guys next time.